Station number 1 is Jesus is condemned to death. Jesus was crowned of thorns, and Judge Pilate said he had to die on the cross also after he was whipped, and for no apparent reason he actually had to die on the cross for doing nothing wrong. I think it isn't fair that he had to die on the cross because he did nothing wrong.
When the Pilate had to condemn Jesus to death, he said to the Jewish authorities and to all the people, every year I release a criminal to you. So he said Barabbas or Jesus, and then everyone screamed out Barabbas.
I think that Pontius Pilate he shouldn't have gave in to the pressure from everybody else.
Second station, Jesus takes up his cross. The Roman soldiers set the cross in front of Jesus. Jesus looks at it and kneels while holding it. He puts his face to it and says, I am your servant, Father, your servant and the son of your handmaid. In pain and weakness, he picks up the cross while the Roman soldiers make fun. The people were throwing stones and trying to beat him. Then he remembers how he rode on a donkey and people waving palms. As Mary is watching as her son is carrying the heavy cross, she sees the devil walking on the other side smiling.
Station 3, Jesus falls the first time. In this station, you can see that Jesus falls the first time. This is the third station. There are 14 stations in all. In this station, Jesus is so tired as he walks along with the heavy cross on his shoulders. The cross keeps pushing onto his shoulder, and the stones that were on the road probably hurt his feet. People were yelling at him and pushing him. The soldiers shouted at him to move faster. Jesus fell, and the soldiers were yelling at him more. Jesus prays in his heart, God, help me remember that you are here.
Every step, the soldiers kept whipping Jesus every time he tried to move faster.
I saw it like in a movie, especially in Passion, when Jesus was walking, they kept on whipping him, and also one Roman soldier pushed him.
Fourth station, Jesus meets his mother Mary. Jesus meets his mother Mary. What a heartbreaking moment. It must be really hard for a mother to watch her own son suffer. Jesus looked for a friendly face in the crowd. He saw his mother. How pained Jesus must be to see her tears. Now her grace-filled smile blesses his mission and stirs his heart to its depths. I wonder how much sadness and pain I would feel if I was Jesus.
When Jesus was walking and Mary couldn't get near him, she asked John, one of his disciples, to get nearer to him. So they came to him, and then Mary fell upon him and said, I'm here.
Station, when Simon was carrying Jesus' cross, I felt sad and worried because Jesus was about to fail, and the soldier picked in the village, he picked a man named Simon who had to help Jesus to pick up his cross.
I wonder how it would feel to be some random passerby and then be asked to carry the cross for someone I didn't even know.
If I was Simon, I'd feel really helpful because what I have done for Jesus, and if I was Jesus, I would feel really grateful for what Simon has done for me.
The Pilate's helper told the Roman soldiers to help Jesus carry his cross because Jesus couldn't carry on any longer. So the Roman soldiers picked out Simon by force to help Jesus carry his cross.
When Veronica was wiping his face, I felt that Veronica was caring about him, and I felt that she was kind. And if I was Jesus, I would feel really grateful for what Veronica did, because from all those people in the crowd, Veronica was the one who wiped my face with the blood and tears.
I think that if I was Veronica, I would be scared to go help Jesus, so I would ask somebody else to help him instead.
When Jesus fell on the floor, I felt sad and worried, and because the soldiers were forcing Jesus to carry his cross, but the cross was too heavy and Jesus kept carrying.
I wonder how heavy Jesus' cross was and how much pain he felt, and the Roman soldiers kept pushing him to go faster, but he really couldn't.
Station 8 is Jesus speaks to the women of Jerusalem. While Jesus was carrying his cross, a group of people, especially women from Jerusalem, were following him. He spoke to them and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep instead for yourselves and for your children. For indeed, the days are coming when people will say, 'Blessed are the barren, the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed.' At the time, people will say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Cover us.' For if their things are done."
If I was a woman of Jerusalem, I'd feel so sorrowful for what Jesus said, because he said, "Weep for yourselves, not for him."
If I was Jesus, I'll feel very pain because the cross is way too heavy, and I feel like cuts and pain. I'll feel very weak. And
if I was Jesus, I would feel so ill because all the pain I'm feeling, and I get really tired from that heavy cross. If I was a person in the crowd watching, I'd feel that he'd be embarrassed because they're taking off his garments.
I saw that Jesus, or probably the narrator, said that the soldiers took my clothes and shared it among themselves. When Jesus was stripped of his clothes, it made me feel angry because like he didn't do anything wrong, but he was still letting them hurt him. I think that maybe Jesus felt angry too because he didn't do anything wrong, and maybe he felt sad because they decided to crucify him.
2, 1.
Station 11. Jesus gets nailed to the cross. Jesus reaches a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There his cross is taken from him, they strip him from his clothes, and they nailed his arms and legs to the cross. I feel that it's not fair because he didn't do anything wrong.
When Jesus was nailed to the cross, it's unfair because he hasn't done nothing wrong.
If I was Jesus, I would feel really bad and feel like I was dying alive because they're nailing my arms and legs to the cross.
Jesus dies, and two girls are crying because they didn't want Jesus to die, and Mary loved Jesus so much. This was a hard thing for Jesus. I'm sorry.
If I was Mary, I'd feel really horrible because I'm seeing my own son being nailed to the cross.
If I were Mary, I would kind of be a little bit happy and mostly sad because Jesus sacrificed his life for us, and he died.
What I don't get is that why wouldn't Mary try to stand up for Jesus?
Station 13. Jesus is taken down from the cross and is taken to the tomb.
If I was Mary, I'd feel horrible and be crying, and I'd follow every step Jesus has taken.
If I were Jesus, I would kind of feel happy because I sacrificed my life for everyone, and like the crucifixion is over with.
Before Jesus is taken down from the cross, the Roman soldiers have to check if he's truly dead.
Station 14. Some Roman soldiers stayed with Mary, Jonah, and Magdalena to help them take Jesus' body down. Mary took the thorny rose bush off Jesus' head and kissed him. Joseph was a member of the council, but secretly believed in Jesus. He came before Pilate and asked him if he can take Jesus' body. Joseph brought a couple sacks of spice and his clothes. They said the last prayer and left.